different types of necklines. Yes. Now in this video, you'll be seeing different ways of cutting 10 different necklines. Yes, the trending necklines. 10 different types of necklines, sweetheart, scoop, Sabrina, and the rest of them. And the first one we are starting, guys, we are starting with asymmetric neckline. Okay, so you can see it on the picture. That is what we are cutting, and for a start I'm going with 4 inches. Now I'll be using 4 inches often because depending on the how free the neck is anyway, but basically 4 inches for a neckline. You don't want too exposing. So first thing I did was get a square that is 4 by 5.5 or thereabout. Okay, depending on how deep you want it. Like this one on the picture is high, so you can go for a deeper one if you want. But while going, you see I can deepen the depth. I can increase the depth, if I feel it's too high. All right, so let's just keep going. But the first thing is to mark it like a square. Then I use scissors to notch it to where down my neck width is. Remember, your neck width must be the same. Then you connect it and make a kind of a square. Then you get your rule, guys, and connect. Now let me shift it to the other side. Good, this way. Watch what I did. I connected it. All right, that is how I'll go. Now let's check. You see the neck depth, I'm having 3. That is high. I want it a little bit up, so I will increase my depth. I'm going for 6. Okay, hopefully the wideness will be more, so I just connected it. Okay, that is it. So let's connect it back and see the depth. I think if I can get like 4, I'll be okay. Okay, 4. So the more deeper your neck depth is, the more deep it becomes. You can see what I got 4, which is okay by me as the neck depth. The more, if you want it more deep, you keep increasing the neck depth. You can equally increase the neck width. All right, so that is it. Okay, that is our asymmetric neckline. Now the width, neck width and neck depth, these two things play very important role when cutting your neck. First, look at how wide the neck is. So let's just continue. I'll be explaining more while we go. We are cutting one shoulder, some call it one hand, whichever one, it all means the same. Okay, so guys, this is it. You connect. Remember, I'm going for 4 inches again. All shoulders must be slanted. Okay, remember that, apart from off shoulder, right, to give that shoulder slanting effect. So I've cut my 1 inch slanting. All right, now I equally went for 4 inches. Okay, now once you mark your 4 inches, I just use scissors to notch. That is what I did there. Now when you're working for one hand, you need to know the depth you want. Like 5 is okay for me. Okay, I don't want it too exposing, but let's cut. Okay, the next thing, once you open it up, you have your one hand must be opened up this way before you cut it. It's not what you fold into 2. All right, maybe the front you fold it into 2, the back no, it has to be opened this way. You get a long rule and connect it to the other part of the armhole. Now have it in mind, one hand can be any part of the shoulder, can serve as that. Okay, so this is what I did. I used my rule and connected. Now let me check the depth. You can see the depth did not even get to what I want. The neck depth is giving me about 2 inches, which is not right. Okay, and I wanted 5. So the best thing for it is to use French curve. Okay, go this way, use your French curve to curve it very well. When you do that, you'll be able to get a perfect one shoulder, one hand, whichever one you call it. Okay, this way it becomes deep. All right, and it will not be too exposing. You can see I got to that 5 inches. Now if it is your 4 inches that is you're working as depth, indicate it at the center front. All right, then you use your French curve to connect it. It makes it more easy. So like I was saying earlier, um neck width and neck depth is a determining factor in neckline. Like the how deep your neck depth is, your neck design is determine the depth of your neck. How wide, going off the shoulder it is, how shoulder showing it is, determine what you do. On this one, I call this Queen Anne. All right, that is what I'm cutting. But some people will say it is sweetheart, the whichever one. But for me, I'm going with Queen Anne neckline. This is a very beautiful neckline, very sexy. Okay, so for this, I'll be needing two measurements, my accurate depth, which I have marked. Then you use your French curve. I did neck width 4. The first neck depth, the first neck depth, I did 4. The final one, I did 6. Okay, so that is it. Now I'm using my French curve because I want it a little bit curvy. Okay, now your neck width can be 3.5. If you want it very close to the neck, is your choice. So just have that in mind. Now you equally use your French curve. You see how I'm placing it. I told you I did 2 stepping. The first one was 4 and the other one complete. Use your French curve to connect it. Use the down part and connect it, and this is what you get. Okay, for me it is Queen Anne neckline, but I see some people say it's sweetheart, the one that costs. So whatever, then you slant your shoulder, all right, by 1 inches. Okay, or neckline you need to slant, that is it. Okay, now you cut. Let's cut the Queen Anne and see how it comes out. Remember I said the width I did 4. Total depth for me it is 7. Okay, the first one I did 4, the second one 3. That is what we have here. All right, so it can be increased depending on how exposing you want it to be. It can be increased, the depth can be increased, the width can be increased. All right, it is not compulsory it has to be 4 by 7. Yours can be 4.5, yours can be 3.5 by 8. It's all your choice and how exposing you want it to be. Keyhole neckline, that is the next neckline we're treating. Now if you're still watching this video, please do subscribe, like this video, share. All right, now this is what we're making. Some of it will be open, some will not be open, but this particular one I'm making, it is open. All right, so I went for 4 and 4 by 4, neck width 4, neck deep depth 4. Then the next one is 2 inches. All right, you get more like a circle first. Okay, the next line to draw is 2 inches. You can use your French curve, to mark that out perfectly well. It's still okay. Now the next is 2 inches. All right, yours can be 2.5, yours can be 1.5, depending on what you want. Okay, now I want it open a little bit, so I'm going for 1/4 inches. All right, then I'll mark out that curve. Now how wide do I want it? I'm going for 1 inches, so from there I'll give it the curve I want it and connect it back. Okay, so in total my neck depth is 6. Yours can be 4 by 7, 4 by 8, depending. It's matter of choice what you want, but I went for 4 by 6. Okay, so that is it. Now you can equally use your French curve. Okay, use that circle, place it very well in a way that it will connect to the center point, center front easily. All right, but let's cut and see the effect. First I'll be cutting the one I use French curve to cut. Okay, the one I use French curve to mark. Then don't forget to slant your shoulder. It is compulsory you slant your shoulder. Yes, you slant your shoulder. Then the next thing is to cut. Okay, first I always like to start with my shoulder. I'm starting with it. Then next I'll just go for the curving first, the first neck curving first before going for the hole. All right, so you have to be careful so you get the appropriate result. So that is it. Open that up and see how it looks. Okay, now mine has opening, you know, the connectivity is open. Some do not get, some don't leave it open, some use bias. Like this particular one I'm showing you, they finished it up, you know, with bias on the neck, so it looks as if it's closed up. All right, so that is it. I'm just recutting it, you know. I think this is better off for me. Okay, and that is our keyhole neckline. All right, keyhole neckline, you know. And the next we are going for W Queen Anne neckline, or some call it inverted Queen Anne neckline. Okay, whichever one it is neckline. All right, so for me, I am going with 7 as my total depth. Okay, yes, I'm going with 7 as my total depth, and my neck width I'm going for 4. Okay, I'm going for 4. Now the neck width at the down is 4.5. Have it in mind. The neck width for the up, the neck width for the up is 4. The down, I extended it, meaning it's wider at the down, but it's tiny at the front. Then once you do that, I'll slant my shoulder. Okay, don't forget that 1 inch. Then my total depth is 7. Then I'll mark 3 inches. Watch what I did. It can be 2, it can be 3, whichever one you're going for. Okay, then I've marked it, so my total length is still 7. All right, so once you mark it, you get your French cuff. This design, this neckline is beautiful. Like, it is beautiful. Yeah, you place your French cuff upside down and curve. Okay, that is it. Okay, if you want that wider one, you go with the wider one, whichever one it is. Okay, then you cut. I'm starting with the shoulder slant. You see that? You connect it and cut out, and that is our neckline. All right, W Queen Anne. You know, it looks like a W. Okay, that is it. Now, what is our next neckline we are to treat? We are going for scalloped neckline. You know, it's so beautiful. You can see it on the neck of the lady there, and the neckline. All right, now it's actually trending, this neckline. I've seen it on different ladies. All right, now my total neck depth, I'm going for 7 again, and 4/3 again, 4/3 again. Then the width, I'm going for 4 inches. All right, 4 inches all through. Yes, 4 inches all through. Now the first thing is to get a square, more like a square. All right, then the down will be, you know, more like a diamond. Do I call, yeah, a diamond neckline. All right, good. You can see what I did from the beginning. I marked 4 for the neck width. The total depth is 7. The first one that is straight is 4. Good. From that place to that place, you can see it gave us 4. Then from where I marked my V, is 3 inches. All right, you can see it. Now have it in mind, total of 7. Then once you're done, the next thing you start first, you start marking it. But let me just get a tape and measure, maybe dividing it will be easy. Now I have total of 4 with me, so I'll just mark the center, which is 2. I'll know that is where I will connect it. Then I'll equally mark the down. The down is giving me about 6 or there, so I'll just divide it into 3. Okay, so it will be able to curve easily. This neckline is actually one of another beautiful designs, neckline people use these days. Okay, so you connect it. All right, then the next thing, you start covering it. You see what I'm doing? All right, you kept connecting it from that line. You have already demarcated it already. Now this demarcation does not mean it must be the same size with yours. Okay, it can be any. Just have that in mind. You can go for 2, you can go for 3, but have it in mind, the wider it is, the more it becomes the more wider, visible, more visible. It's more visible when it's a little bit tinier. So that is it. Okay, so you slant your shoulder by 1 inches. Don't forget that. Then you cut. Okay, so you have to be careful when cutting it so you don't make mistake. Okay, let's go. So you slant. Looking at it, it's looking beautiful. Ready? It is looking beautiful. Yep. Wow, I'm loving it. Yes, it is beautiful. So now this neckline, the best way to finish it is either facing or you use lining. Okay, now we are going for scoop neckline. More like some call it U-neck. Yeah, some call it U-neck. So the depth can be any. It can be, some use it for back, a way of showing their back. All right, you can, the neck depth can be 10, 15, whatever you want. Okay, now but I'm going for 4.5. The depth, I'm going for 10. All right, so once you have it this way, remember you slant your shoulder. Once you slant your shoulder, Now you can either just use free hand to connect it or use a French curve, to mark a kind of a V. All right, once you mark a kind of a V, that is it, proper V. Sorry, U, not V. With your French curve you get it easily. So the next thing is to cut. So that is our scoop neck. All right, scoop neckline. Okay, now the depth is by choice. Some are usually longer than this. Then we have a square neck to cut. Equally, I'm going for 4 inches again. Now the depth is matter of choice. It can be 4, 5, can be 6, or the depth, the width too can be 5. All right, but I am working with 4 by 6. Okay, then we'll connect. That is it, just a normal proper neck. Then you slant your shoulder by 1 inches. Okay, so that is it, you cut. Okay, square is one of the easiest neckline, all right, to cut. When sewing it, that is, I think where the work is the sewing, not the cutting. The cutting is very easy. The sewing, you have to be very careful. You need to get that square. All right, it's equally one of the neck you cannot finish with bias. You have to finish it with lining or facing. All right, that is our square neck. Okay, now the next neckline for us to cut, we have not cut V. Yes, so let's go for V neckline. Now the depth of V matters. All right, there you can have V as completely open as your show back. Okay, so the depth of your V is by choice, but in this case I'm going for 3.5 and 9. I'll just connect it. That is all. You see what I wrote? 3.5 and 9 as my neck depth, 9 as my neck depth, 3 as my neck width. Okay, now you can go for more lesser neck depth, whichever one. That is 9. I did more, so the other one is 7. So what next? You cut. It's very easy. It's equally one of the simplest V to cut. All right, equally when sewing you have to make sure you get the V. You have to be careful. So that is it. Okay, now if I decide to cut the other one, it will be more deeper. Okay, so that is it. You open. You can see that is our V. All right, so guys, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Okay, and thank you for always watching every time whenever I post video. I appreciate all your support. And the last, we are going for Sabrina neckline. Now in this neckline is more of wideness. It is, the shoulder is usually wide, the depth is tiny. Okay, have it in mind. Wide shoulder, depth is usually very low. You can go for 3.5, 4 inches. So for a Sabrina, The minimum neck width is 5 inches. Like the minimum. You know, the shoulder, what you have left will be tiny shoulder. Now, when you have a wide shoulder, you cannot go with a deeper neck depth. Your shoulder will be going off completely off your body. It's either you have a deeper neck depth and a smaller neck width, or you have a wider neck width, or a small neck depth. Have that in mind. If the neck width is wide, the neck depth should not be wide, or should not be deep. If the neck depth is deep, the neck width should be small, should not be too wide. That is just it. So you can see what I did. I did by 4 and connected, because you don't want it choking on the neck. That is why you need to, go down a little bit. You see that? Now, the back of this dress can have a deep neck depth, but the front cannot go with deep neck depth. Meaning, if you have Sabrina, you can go with U at the back, you can go with V at the back, or even very deep V, like more like a show back. It still stands, all right, but you can't have a wide neck at the front and equally a deep neck at the front when you're going for Sabrina. High neck width, all right, just have that in mind. So that is a Sabrina neckline. Okay, so guys, thank you all those watching, supporting me. I appreciate you. All right, see you on my next video. Much love. Be safe out there.